What's up, action takers, the community of doers? I hope you're doing well. Week 5, episode 5, 52 weeks. Here we come. Our first milestone. I'm excited. I'm inspired. In this episode, I want us to look at 5 questions that I think are very fundamental and forms the foundation of every human existence. Now, what are these 5 questions that I think every human being should ask themselves and should get the answers within themselves and should take action into those answers that they develop? So the first question, who am I? And that informs your identity. 2, where am I from? Your source. 3, why am I here? Your purpose. 4, what am I capable of doing? Your potential. 5, where am I going? Your destiny. Now, before I delve deep into these 5 questions and really understand their importance into our existence and that informs our development as human beings and achieving our goal in the long run, I would like to request you to kindly subscribe to this YouTube channel. And that is going to allow us to reach far more people and also create one of the biggest communities in East and Central Africa that believes in personal development. Now, on to the first. Who am I? A question that I've said informs your identity. It's important for us to be able to know what exactly informs who you are right now. How is that possible? The most foundational thing is to understand how your past life has contributed to how you function in your day-to-day life currently. Now, there are some aspects of life that you need to identify your identity in. Of course, first of all, is your personal life. Just understanding your personal philosophy, your belief systems, your principles as a person, your do's and don'ts, that forms the part for your identity. When it comes to family, what do you identify with? What's your identity within that family construct? Of course, your workplace. What's your identity in your workplace? In the essence that you clearly understand the value, that you can identify the value that you bring in your workplace. That's what we mean by identity in your workplace. Be very clear about what you bring in that company or in that job or in that business that you're running. Then identity in your relationships. Don't get lost probably in your personal relationship with your friends, with your partner. You need to be very, very clear of your own identity. Understand your limits. Some people tend to do everything, they just go with the flow. Don't be the person who goes with the flow. Know your identity and who you are as a person so that you can be able to understand your do's and don'ts in the construct of any relationship that you find yourself in. So, who you are, which informs your identity, is a question that you need to ask yourself and demand an answer from yourself and act on the conclusion that you draw from yourself at a personal level. The next question is, where am I from? Your source. What's your source? What do we mean by this? we mean your background, your family. Understand your family tree. Understand the belief system of your family. Personally, I believe that we are so engraved to our families, and sometimes we underestimate the kind of connections that we have with our ancestors. I know it's a bit of information, but I believe it's important for us to be able to understand what has informed the generations that brought about your parents, and then you to understand what has been the trends, so that you can really understand what are you working with. Science has proven that we are a function of 400 traits that comes from our extended family. So you're not only your parents' genes, but you are made up of more than 400 genes along your family, your extended family. So it's important to understand, so that even if there were some limiting beliefs, even if there were some, things that probably informs even your health, as if this is very profound. The genes, probably the genetics in your family, let's be conscious to understand. And also most importantly, from a health perspective, and lastly, which is very, very important, from a psychological and spiritual perspective. The third question is, why am I here? Purpose. I can't emphasize enough on this question. This informs how you live your day-to-day life. Until you understand your purpose, your life on earth will always be in vain. Why do I say that? With a lot of confidence. Because every man has two lives, and the second one begins when he realizes he only has one. The reason I've mentioned that is because we need to understand our purpose, and then with the knowledge that the fact that we have a limited time in this world to accomplish this purpose informs our agency on how we live on a day-to-day basis. Jordan Peterson said that it is the knowledge that we are not going to live forever that gives us the agency that we apply in our day-to-day life. The knowledge that one day you will not be here, that's what informs the agency to accomplish your purpose on a day-to-day life. So not even until, know your purpose. Ask yourself that. Do some self-digging and understand your purpose. How do you go about that? Your purpose is something that you care about so much that you can bet your life on it. Something that you're so compelled to accomplish in this life that there is nothing, or there is no limitation, or there is no obstacle that can actually discourage you from pursuing. Elon Musk said that something that is worth pursuing even if the odds are not in your favor. When you get your purpose, when you identify your purpose, you will not know any limiting belief. You will not consider any obstacles, because you are willing to do it even if the odds are not in your favor. The fourth question that every human being should ask and demand answers and act on those answers. What am I capable of doing? What can I do? Your potential. Research has proven that probably we use around 10% of our brain capabilities as human beings. Let me not go into the neuroscience. Let me restrict myself to the conversation that we have within ourselves, for the interest of understanding the importance of knowing your potential as a person. The point of not understanding, or the dangers of not knowing your potential, is because you're gonna find yourself punching below your weight. And I think that's the worst thing or the worst situation to find yourself in. It's very important for you to know your potential. What are you capable of doing? Dream big. Some people are not willing even to start because they don't recognize that they actually have the potential to achieve what they set to do. So you fail in the beginning. You don't even try. And the reason you don't even try is because you don't understand that you actually have the potential. So that's why it is important for you to be able to be very clear about what you are capable of doing in your life. And I will call upon the young people, especially people in their 20s. Push yourself to the limit. This is a very opportune time for you to push yourself to the limit and see what are you capable of doing. Can you work those long hours? Can you dedicate yourself fully to those goals that you're putting? Can you immerse yourself into that dream or into that field? How much knowledge? Don't be lazy in learning. How much knowledge can you consume of that field that you want to accomplish, that you want to be a master in? Can you achieve mastery? Be obsessed with that idea that you want to bring to life. Push yourself to your limits. Some people will never even know their limits. But I'm calling upon you today, in the aspect or in the pursuit of knowing your potential, in the pursuit of understanding very clearly what you're capable of achieving in your life, push yourself and know your limits. And if you are radical enough, you can even push beyond your limits. And that's the only time that you're gonna become the top percent in any endeavor in this life. The last point, or the last question that every human being on the face of the earth must ask themselves and demand an answer and act on that answer, is knowing, where am I going? That's your destiny. After you have understood your past, after you have understood your identity, after you have understood your purpose, you have understood your potential. Now, collectively, with all that information and that intelligence, where are you going? What's your destiny? What's your legacy? What do you want the world to remember you with? After all is said and done, what is going to be your legacy? In what industry? What is the niche that you're gonna use to leave this world a better place than you found it? You have to understand that aspect about your life. If you don't know where you're going, then you're going to end up anywhere. If you don't understand, if you don't have a clear destination of where you're going, therefore, your actions are going to be diluted. Be very clear about where you're going. Be very clear about where you are going in all aspects of your life. So, what are the actionable steps that you can apply when it comes to destiny? I look at destiny in different aspects. I think we can actually break down destiny into different destinies. People say that your destiny has already been placed. But personally, I think your destiny is informed by your current actions and your current course of actions. What you do today informs where you're going to be tomorrow. So as much as there are a lot of forces in the world, and the fact that the world is too complicated to allow 100% of your effort to contribute to 100% of your results, there is a very big relationship, or I think to a very big percentage, your actions affect your tomorrow. That goes with no doubt. Now, what are some of the destinies breaking down from the larger goal? I think you need a destiny when it comes to your personal development. What do you want to achieve in the long run? I think you need a destiny when it comes to your family. What do you want your family to end up? Or what kind of shape? Where do you want to live? Where do you want your kids to go to school? What do you want to drive? You can take that as a subset of the big destiny. Apart from the legacy that you wanna build, that now can be a subsegment of that big destiny. Destiny in your job or in your career or in your workplace. How do you want to end? Where do you want to end up in your career? What's your end goal in your career? Where am I going? That's another destiny. Destiny in your business. If you're running a business, what's your end goal? At some point I said begin with the end in mind. Where do you want to end up as a company? Do you want to exit at a certain point? What's the valuation do you want to exit at? Do you want to have different outlets? Do you want to go global? That's the kind of destiny in the perspective of your business. So the destiny is big. The legacy, what you're going to be known for, what you're going to achieve mastery in. But below that, there are different aspects of life that you need to define the end goal that you're trying to achieve, so that that end goal is going to inform your current actions to align them in an intentional way to achieve that destiny. So where you're going, it's so much important. It informs the kind of actions that you're taking and the kind of decision that you're making currently. Thank you very much. We've come up to the end of that episode. I appreciate for you sticking around until this point, and I hope that we are moving forward to take intentional action to understand all those aspects. Please comment below if you have you have started asking yourself those questions. I want to know your journey, and if you want me to walk that journey with you, also comment down below. I'm going to walk that journey with you to make sure that all those 5 questions you have come to a conclusion and you have built an action plan to make sure that your life has transformed in the aspect of being intentional and making sure that all those 5 questions informs your next phase of your life. Please like, share, and also comment in other subjects that you want me to cover. I invite you, if you want me to cover a subject, please comment down below and I'm going to be engaging with you. Thank you very much. Always show up.